The early 20th century marked a pivotal shift in the conceptualization of human strength and aesthetics. While Eugen Sandow is often credited as the father of modern bodybuilding, the transition from strongman performances to a scientific approach to physique enhancement was a gradual evolution shaped by socio-cultural changes, psychological motivations, and advancements in exercise science. In 1898, George Hackenschmidt, a figure revered in both weightlifting and wrestling, demonstrated that structured resistance training could enhance not only strength but also muscular symmetry. Unlike the earlier circus strongmen, whose primary focus was brute force, Hackenschmidt emphasized a balanced approach to muscular development, a principle that would later become a foundational aspect of modern hypertrophy training. Similarly, in 1903, Bernarr Macfadden, an influential figure in physical culture, organized some of the earliest physique competitions, such as America's Most Perfectly Developed Man. Unlike traditional powerlifting competitions, these contests incorporated an aesthetic criterion, signaling the shift from sheer strength to body symmetry and proportion. Macfadden also pioneered fitness journalism, founding Physical Culture magazine, which laid the groundwork for modern publications like Muscle Mag International and Flex magazine. By 1921, bodybuilding had evolved into a commercial enterprise. The winner of Macfadden's contest that year was Angelo Siciliano, later known as Charles Atlas. Unlike previous champions, Atlas capitalized on the psychology of self-improvement and social dominance, introducing dynamic tension, a system of isometric resistance training targeted at adolescent males. Atlas's marketing genius lay in his understanding of human psychology, particularly the social hierarchy dynamics among males. His famous comic book ad, depicting a weak, humiliated teenager transforming into a dominant figure, resonated deeply with the cognitive biases of self-enhancement and status-seeking behavior. This narrative played into evolutionary psychology principles, where physical dominance has historically correlated with reproductive success and social standing. By the mid-1970s, over 6 million copies of his training program had been sold, proving that the aspiration for a powerful physique was not merely aesthetic, but deeply ingrained in human nature. Interestingly, despite marketing dynamic tension, Atlas himself built his physique using progressive overload principles, employing barbells and dumbbells in structured rep-and-set schemes, a method later supported by exercise physiology research as the most effective approach for hypertrophy and neuromuscular adaptation. One of the many influenced by Atlas was Siegmund Klein, who not only refined the scientific understanding of body composition but also emphasized the philosophical link between physical excellence and mental fortitude. Klein's holistic view of training aligns with ancient Greek philosophy, where physical training was intertwined with intellectual and moral development. By the 1930s, bodybuilding contests had fully embraced physique assessment over raw strength demonstrations. However, echoes of earlier physical culture practices remained. Competitors were often required to perform feats of balance or endurance, reflecting remnants of the classical athletic ideal. The establishment of the first Mr. America contest in 1930 was a turning point. Competitors came from various athletic disciplines, but weightlifters consistently displayed the most developed physiques. This realization further cemented resistance training as the superior method for muscular hypertrophy. In 1940 and 1941, John Grimek, widely considered the first true Mr. America, revolutionized bodybuilding by exclusively using barbell and dumbbell training. Unlike earlier champions, who still incorporated elements of calisthenics and gymnastics, Grimek's physique was built through progressive resistance training, foreshadowing modern scientific bodybuilding methodologies. The rise of bodybuilding as a structured discipline was not merely a product of physical training advancements, it was deeply influenced by cultural shifts, psychological motivations, and philosophical perspectives on human potential. From the Greek ideals of physical perfection to evolutionary drives for dominance and status, the sport has always been a reflection of both the body and the mind. As physical culture centers evolved into modern gyms, the pursuit of aesthetic perfection continued to be driven by a blend of scientific knowledge, psychological aspirations, and the timeless human quest for self-improvement.